And I'm Robert Kirkendall III.
And today I wanted to talk to you. I think we talked about this once before, but interactive movies. Have you ever seen any interactive movies?
Actually, that's funny you ask. Last night I was watching, for the first time in a while, because my mom had gotten me the Rainbow movies, all 5 of them on DVD. And I was watching the first Rainbow again, which is just a freaking fantastic film. But anyways, they have this thing called survival mode where you click on like little factoids during the movie. And it's
Okay. That's actually kind of
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and so it's not completely interactive, but it just made me think of all these different DVD features that we don't have anymore on DVD because DVDs aren't like as thought of as like this really cool medium anymore.
DVD salesmen are selling their soul left and right. They are they're doing whatever they can to get those things sold. Which I don't know. I value physical copies of movies a little bit more now than I used to. Just because of how big I've gotten into lost film and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think that just because a movie was made in the modern age doesn't necessarily mean that it's preserved forever. You know what I mean? There was that movie. You ever seen the movie Copland? It had a huge cast.
Yeah, still Ray Liotta, right?
That was one of those weird ones where it has a huge cast and like tons of big names, but like it just no one ever heard about them. If you watch that movie, it was made in like 1997. The copy of the movie that you're watching has like speckles, like little fragments. Like I'm like 1997. Like The Godfather is in better shape than this movie is. You know what I mean? Like there are movies from the 60s that are in better shape.
You know The Godfather. I do want to say that The Godfather actually this is really funny. Every year, every like 5 years or so, The Godfather gets an upgrade. Because it's such a, you know what I mean? It's like it's the pinnacle of film for a lot of people.
A lot of people's favorite film of all time.
It's my favorite film of all time. All 3 of them. So I mean, but what I mean is that literally, I bought a Blu-ray copy. I have a DVD copy of all 3. I bought a Blu-ray copy of like a highly specialized edition of Godfather. It was like at the time it was like you only had 2,000 copies on Blu-ray, and I bought it. And I remember when I bought it, I was like really excited. And then I remember just thinking to myself though, like, I don't know, like I really do like the DVD copy, and I could just sell the Blu-ray copy now for like more than I bought it for. So I was like, I might as well just sell that copy because I do like my DVD copy. You know what I mean? It's an adequate copy. But yeah, anyways, yeah, it's because most likely the DVD for Copland got pan and scanned, which means they scanned the film. They didn't like digitally upgrade it.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. It's just the idea that like a film that maybe when we're old, right? Like when we're in our 60s and 70s, there's the idea that a film that me and you like saw in theaters or like remember seeing to some capacity when we were young, and it just being completely lost later is such a crazy idea to me. Because that's what happened. Like everyone who watched film in the 20s, there was at least a few films they watched that was kind of like, can't watch that movie ever again.
Unless they like only saw a few films, but yeah. I think also the reason why I really like DVDs and why, I mean, I've told you this a billion times. I just think with streaming services, like controlling what we watch, and I don't mean like in a like, oh, they're only going to let us watch that. Like, I don't mean like in a fascistic kind of way where they're only going to control what we watch. It's just more of like when I go into Netflix, right? They could remove a movie that I wanted to watch at any time. You know what I mean? They usually remove it at the end of the month, right? But I wouldn't know that they removed it. You know what I mean? If it's a movie I really want to watch, like I love Rambo, you know what I mean? Like I love Jurassic Park. I love, you know what I mean? I love those movies. I want to watch those movies whenever I want to watch them. I don't want to have to go through and find which streaming service has them. And then, you know what I mean? I want to look at my DVD collection. I want to be boom. I want to pop it in, you know, and I want to watch it. So the accessibility there.
It does seem a little bit more like a hunt to get something than it used to be. Like, I feel like in the era of video stores in like the 2000s, they're kind of, I didn't really have that feel. I felt like if there was any movie you wanted to watch at a Blockbuster or at a Family Video, if it wasn't there, they could order it. And it wasn't like, or same thing with a library, like the physical copy nature of things kind of does open things up, you know, because there's some films that are only available online that are really difficult to get to, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, did you know that like there's this movie called The Empty Man, I think, that's on HBO Max that actually took off, but HBO Max is the one that owns it. I think they own the rights to the movie, so they actually literally they removed the only version of that movie because they never released it on DVD. They removed the only version of that DVD on streaming, and I can't remember if they stopped it, if there was like like people like did a petition for it. But I just remember thinking like, this is like crazy because I mean, that's what's going to happen. It's not that we're going to lose the movies necessarily. It's just that we're not going to be able to access them like we would if we had DVDs for them. And
Is there? Oh, sorry. What were you?
no, I was just saying, and I think you brought up how the Blockbuster era and all of that stuff. I think it wasn't necessarily that they were accessible. It was just more of like there was more of a desire to have movies like that. You know what I mean? Like there was more of like a discovery aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted, yeah, they would have all your typical ones, right? But then like I remember at Blockbuster, and I was actually thinking about this last night. I saw this movie called Super Mario Bros. And I actually really loved it as a kid. And I literally looked it up.
1993.
Yeah,
like the cheesy live action one with John Leguizamo.
I love that one though. I still love that one. It's a movie I want to do eventually. I want to do my own live action version. But anyways, I love that movie, right? So I looked it up to see if it was on any streaming, and it's not anywhere. So I'm gonna have to buy the DVD. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, I could rent or buy it online, but I feel like that's only, you know what I mean? When you rent and buy stuff, why not just buy a DVD?
Yeah, there's some nostalgia picks that I was thinking about that. Like, I have I want to get a nice, because all my discs that I have are just in the folder. I want to have some that are in like a nice case, like the ones that I actually care about, like Anchorman, or like Princess Bride, or there's I really want to get Good Burger on DVD. You remember Good Burger?
They had that. Yeah, they had that at Target the other day when I was there.
No way. Yeah, so I want to get that on DVD one of these days because it literally was for like 3 years of my life my favorite film in the whole world.
See, that's
as crazy as that seems.
Yeah, that's crazy. I literally the other day I was thinking about how I used to love Disney Channel movies. I remember I don't know how much you watched Disney Channel as a kid. I watched it a lot. But the thing was, I've always kind of been. I think there's this thing. I have this awful inability to sleep after I've already. So like if I go to sleep, like deep sleep, right, and then I wake up, I'm kind of just awake. Now I can go back to sleep, but like it takes a little coaxing. You know what I mean? It's not something that happens quickly. Well, I used to go to sleep to TV on, and so then I'd watch Disney Channel. I'd fall asleep, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and then I'd watch Disney Channel. And every I think right around like 3, I want to say, in the morning, they would show Disney Channel original movie, and every time it would show like.
It was always 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah, it was always early 2000s. It was either the ones that I really liked. The two I really liked were Luck of the Irish and 13th Year, where the kid turns into a mermaid.
I remember Luck of the Irish, where he just got super lucky at everything he did. And,
yeah.
Or you remember You Wish, where he wishes his brother wasn't his brother?
Yeah.
I just remember him getting a pizza to the face.
Even Stevens movie. I mean, I remember a lot of those movies. But I was gonna say, I always knew it was getting really early in the morning, and I needed to go back to sleep or pretend to be asleep when the Proud Family show would come on. I don't know why, but that was always like it would come out like right at 5. I think it was like.
Is that the cartoon Black Family?
Yeah, it was it was that Black Family that was cartoon. Yeah, the cartoon Black Family. But yeah, the Proud Family, and I just remember thinking like every time I'd always be like, oh, I need to go back to sleep now. Like I can't.
Watching the Proud Family at 4 in the morning.
Like full of Cheetos, I'm just like munching on them.
Yeah, I love those. My Date with the President's Daughter. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah. That one, or my mom has a date with the vampire.
I haven't seen that one.
Really?
That one sounds.
So I remember this scene. The reason why I remember it so well is because there's this moment where there's this really silly thing in the movie where they say if you can stick a spoon to your nose without going, like getting condensation on it, like water, and making it moist, that's how you know you're a vampire. So they would just literally stick a spoon to his nose to see if he was a vampire, and that's how they knew. Dude, I also remember, God, what's another really good one? High School, obviously. What'd you say? Minutemen, yeah. High School Musical. Minutemen is literally, I was going to say, I was thinking about like right when I fell out with Disney Channel, was right around like Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Like,
they did. That movie, I remember, it was made for TV, but they used higher quality cameras.
Yeah.
It wasn't like typical made for TV movie like look to it. It looked like a movie you'd see in theaters.
Yeah, it was a solid movie. I mean, I think that was the last one that I really remember watching. I remember Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior.
Oh yeah, I think I was talking to someone else. Like, I think the most successful made-for-TV movie ever in the history of all made-for-TV movies ever since 1964, when See How They Run came out, the first one. It's got to be High School Musical. High School Musical, the original High School Musical, has got to be the most successful one. I mean, that's like the one where, like, I will tell people will tell me I will talk about made-for-TV movies with people because I think they're fun because they're all hidden gems, every single one. And I'll talk to them about it, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I haven't seen any hidden like made-for-TV movies." I'm like, "Have you seen High School Musical?" And they're like, "Okay, like besides that one, like that's like the one everyone's always seeing."
I do think actually I don't know if you knew this. In terms of statistics, like in terms of numbers, High School Musical 2 did better than High School Musical 1. In terms of like more people watched it when it premiered. I actually watched both. I remember both when they premiered, but I remember when High School Musical 2 premiered more because that was actually this is how I know. It's because that was actually the same night that Phineas and Ferb premiered too. So they actually right after that, Ashley Tisdale was like, "Oh, I have this new show, you know what I mean, that I'm doing. It's called, Phineas and Ferb." She introduced it, and then it came on, and I remember watching it. What? Yeah, she's Candace. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. And she like, I don't know what happened, but she like got a lot of like big roles in Disney. Like you think about that. Like she was in
What
Sweet
other-
Life of Zack and Cody. She was Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Sweet Life on Deck. She was Sharpay in all the High School Musicals. She was the voice actor in Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
She probably did other voice acting I don't even know about. But like, man, she must have been very well liked by a lot of the people there.
Of course. But I think I think the reason why High School Musical was so big of a TV movie is because I remember Disney Channel movies were like legit. Like to me, they were like actual movies. You know what I mean? They were just
that might have been just like right at the peak highest, like right before they stopped being a big thing was like right after High School Musical. I feel
right around then. Yeah, I think it was probably closer to High School Musical 2, only because that was that was really hyped up because
High School Musical 3 was actually in theaters.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They actually put that one in theaters. That one is actually in theaters.
Because that was the confusing part. When that movie came out, all the actors and all the interviews were saying, "Man, High School Musical can finally be on like the big screen." And I remember thinking, like, what do they mean? Like, why do they keep saying it? Like, they kept being like, "We can make like a real movie." And I'm like, "You made 2 other real movies. Like, I don't get what you mean." Like, I kept hearing people say that, real movie. It's a real movie. I'm like, the first 2 were real to me. Like, like to adults, they didn't. Because to a lot of adults, they just didn't see any of it. And then the first one they saw in theaters was the third one. And so, like,
that's true. I actually was keeping a list of like to direct DVD movies that I really like. I think one of the best ones is Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. That one's a classic. To me, that's still the best Scooby-Doo movie. Seriously, that's the best Scooby-Doo movie.
What about the live? Are you talking about the live action ones?
No, Zombie Island. No, that one's in theaters. No, Zombie Island is the one where they go to Zombie Island. It's actually the live action one is really heavily based. The first one's really heavily based off of Zombie Island. Right.
I thought the second one was the one where they went to like Spook Island or whatever.
No, that's the first one. The second one is
where it was like an amusement park.
Yeah, that's the first one. The second one is the one where they have remember Seth Green's in the second one. They have all the bad guys. Like they find out like all the twist is that all the bad
they have to like take on like 40 bad guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which one has like the Mothman, like the guy with the wings? Remember that was a big guy?
Oh yeah, that's definitely in the second one, I think, because that would have to have
totally blend together.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why I say that is because I think the first one, it's tough to tell the bad guys apart. You know what I mean?
I have such an embarrassing confession to make about the second video. So for some reason, the movie was like so lighthearted and fun. The second one, there was one scene where they went like super sentimental with like them being back in their clubhouse, them like throwing a frisbee around, them like. Right. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, when I watched that when I was like 8 years old, I like wept. I like cried to the point where I was like dehydrated. Like it got me so hard.
Isn't that like a 30-second scene?
I know, right? Like it was so like they were moving on to other scenes, and I was still like sad.
I don't feel bad though. I remember the one movie that got me. I always tell people this: 2 movies that made me cry when I was younger was Bucket List with Jack Nicholson.
That's fair.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson and I forget the other guy, Morgan Freeman. And then the other one that got me was Click. I don't know why, but Click always got me. Click still did.
Click had a super emotional, sad moment at the end where he's like dying in the rain. And he's like,
I know, but it's just like, I don't know. It's embarrassing because both of those are comedies. Both of the movies I just listed are comedies.
All right. Both of them have people die. and one of them's about two old guys having cancer. Mine is about kids throwing, like, wish they could be kids again and, like, hang out with their friends. That was why I cried.
It's well, it's funny that Click taught you what sex was, and Click taught me.
Yeah,
No,
that was such a pivotal movie in both of our lives.
But for completely different reasons.
Yeah, that sex scene, I was like, oh, that's all right. That's it. That's how it goes. Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say was about interactive movies, because I was gonna say this earlier. Was that Netflix has been doing a lot of interactive movies. So
they've done 2 that I've seen. I'm sure they've done more, but I just haven't seen it. That's why I wanted to talk. I was actually just in the middle of watching one before we started. Have you ever seen the Bear Grylls one?
There's a Bear Grylls one?
Don't say it like that, okay?
No,
Bear Grylls one is awesome.
Stop. Is it a movie or is it a TV show? Like, I'm confused.
No, so it is an actual. Well, depends on your definition of a movie, because it's like 45 minutes long, but it's just.
Well, but what I mean, it's not like an episode. It's
it's one thing.
Okay.
And it's pretty much like you get to choose like one of the options on the screen, like what should you do to survive type of thing. And a lot of them were pretty basic. Like a lot of them, they weren't like crazy, but it was like, when I rappel down this rock wall, should I put my rope around this rock or around this tree? And you kind of just choose rock or tree. Like it's like a lot of basic stuff. But I remember thinking, how funny would it be if one, because they had to shoot both outcomes in case he chose. But if they did one where it was just like, should I carefully rappel down this wall or should I jump head first into like, what if like the other options were always like that would kill him? Like that would be like the worst possible thing. Like should I shoot this line with a gun or should I run naked covered in meat or something like that?
I'm just thinking, what if one was like, should I drink my urine? Should
I go 10 feet over there and drink from that flowing river? And you're like, I want to see him drink it. I want to see him do it.
That'd be fun. All right, Bear, we need you to die for this scene. What? You're a method actor, aren't you? Die. Die.
Should I electrocute myself with these exposed wires?
That's Dude, have you seen that? They did one for Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror. Have you seen that one? That's probably the most famous one.
Say Bandersnatch?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the character?
No, it's the name of the episode.
The name of the episode is Bandersnatch?
Yeah, it's like a movie though. It's a movie.
Well, I've seen episodes of Black Mirror.
But yeah, this is the movie though. This is the Black Mirror movie. It was an interactive movie.
The modern day Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it's called Bandersnatch.
So is it a spin-off? It's not an episode though, is it?
No, it's called like, it's like a Black Mirror episode but longer into a movie.
Like a special.
Yeah, like a special, yeah.
So there is a debate, like I put that on my list, like what is considered a movie when it comes to specials. So I would consider it a movie if it is a completely like one-off thing. Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air did a reunion TV special, and I consider that a movie because it was like 20 years after the show, and it was a documentary about their lives after the show. So it didn't have anything to do with the show. Whereas like if it was an hour and a half long episode that was like right in the middle of like season 5 and then the thing kept going, or is at the end or something, then I would be like, I don't know if I consider that a show or like a movie. I consider that just a
Well, I can see that. I think also though, one of the really easy ways to say like it's a movie is if it was released in theaters. So like for instance, in the middle of X-Files, they actually had a movie between season 4 and 5, I think, that was released in theaters, but it was a continuation. It was just like a really long episode. You know what I mean? But it was in the theaters. Do you get what I'm saying?
It was like a full feature length. Yeah. I've seen that 1998 one or something.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, and it's like that was like a full
98. I think you're right. I think it's 98. Because I remember the scene where he goes over. I remember that's actually really funny. I remember the scene where he goes over. What's his name? The main character. I forget his name. The guy.
David Duchovny.
David Duchovny. What's his actual name though in the movie? Mulder. Is it Mulder?
I've only ever seen the movie. I didn't see the show.
Oh well. Anyways, he goes over and he pees on a Independence Day poster in the back alley.
Oh yeah.
I remember that because I've always thought it was so funny that they're clearly stating their opinions on Independence Day.
Yeah, well, I think it was also like a kind of a jab at like we're competition for sci-fi like at the time.
Well,
You know.
yeah, I mean, absolutely right. I mean, it's also just a funny joke. They do that all the time. Like a bunch of horror directors, I can't remember who it was, but a bunch of horror directors would have like a famous horror movies poster in the background. They were like shredded to bits, you know, like or like one of the killers would like stab through it or something, and they're like,
Yeah, like there was a scene like that in the Book of Eli, which is like a post-apocalyptic movie, which
yeah,
is on the top right now. But there was a scene where they were like in this like dilapidated house, and there's like a bunch of trash everywhere, and there's a poster of A Boy and His Dog from 1975, which is an apocalyptic movie from the 70s, and it's all like destroyed and everything. And I'm like, that's kind of funny that they would put that in there.
yeah, that is funny. I like that. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I actually recently, because I was really into it, because I forgot to say this too about the interactive movies. I recently got into I was looking into interactive movies, and I tried to find DVDs that had interactive movies. Dude, those DVDs are actually pretty expensive because they're pretty sought after.
So how does that work though? Like, because I think interactive movies would be a really cool movie to make, but the problem is like the tech involved in like selecting a thing. That's the hardest thing. The only thing I can think of, the easiest way I could think to do it is you have one DVD is option one DVD is option two type of thing. And you used to have like a bunch of DVDs for one movie type of thing.
Well, they just have it. Well, what they basically have is they basically just have a menu. I mean, this is what I'm assuming, right? Obviously, they basically have a scene, right? Whole scene. Okay, so me and you're talking, blah blah blah. All right, now you have an option. Ethan, licks his
car.
Yeah, Ethan licks his earlobe, or or Ethan puts his headphone in his nostril, right? So now it's a menu though, and there's like a timer, and then all of a sudden, you click on one or the other. Do you get what I'm saying? And then it takes you to another video.
I get that, but I'm saying to create that menu, to create that.
Yeah, I'm saying it'd be pretty. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying it would be pretty easy because it would just be the same technology they've had with menus. Dude, I remember I have DVDs that are so old. I mean, there's actually anything in the 90s is so old, by the way, in terms of DVD technology, that they had interactive menu as a special feature.
Well, because I've watched some DVDs, like some old DVDs, where you put the DVD in, the trailers play without the possibility to fast forward, and then it doesn't give you a play menu; it just rolls right into the movie. There's no play menu. Yeah, it's only happened like 2 or 3 times ever, but where like they don't even give you a play menu; it just goes right to it.
How old are those DVDs? Are you watching Laserdisc? What do you... Dude, this is so crazy. Somebody was talking to me like in college about like 3 or 4 years ago. And they were like, I remember when I was a kid and I used to watch Top Gun all the time, right? And he's like, it was like on a DVD, but it wasn't a DVD because I remember I had to take it out and I had to flip it to the other side, right? And the thing is that he didn't know what it was called because most people don't even know what those are, but it's Laserdisc. And I was like, holy crap, dude, that's like crazy that he had a Laserdisc. I mean, I've never, Laserdisc weren't that popular. Like, it's pretty rare for me to have heard somebody had a Laserdisc.
With a Laserdisc, you have to like flip it around.
Yeah, because I think you can only hold like 45 or like half of a movie. About I think is like the average.
That technology sucks compared to a DVD.
Well, no, but they were before DVDs. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like they were competing with VHS.
Oh, so they were the bridge.
Yeah.
Wait, so were they blocky like a VHS or were they thin like a DVD?
No, they're like a disc. That's why they're called Laserdisc. But that's the thing. They were but nobody wanted them, like I said, because you had to flip them. Right? That was like a big
another competitor. There was another competitor to VHS that was like big and blocky, just like VHS. Do you remember what was it called?
Betamax.
Betamax, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dude, finding a Betamax movie would be super cool. Wouldn't that be cool?
Dude, I still want to make a VHS movie that we only release on VHS.
That would be kind of cool. Like me and Bobby have talked about it a bunch of times about how like music has this like cool vinyl that like everyone loves and it's vintage and there's like a lot of artwork. Movies have like none of that. The closest thing we have is like a VHS. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, we have VHS and we have film, but nobody has film, so we have VHS.
A 35 millimeter film, if you can pay like a few $1,000s for a projector.
Dude, well, on top of that, 16 millimeter even is pretty expensive. I mean, film is expensive, right? I mean, that's never dropped. I don't know why. Right, I don't know why you can't like buy 8 millimeter things because I don't know who would want 8 millimeter. I mean, outside of like people like you and me, but I just mean they're not. So I wouldn't think they're so sought after that it'd be so expensive when you have so much of it.
The technology involved in developing the film in the first place is probably really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like the original nitrate film had a lot of silver in it. It had like precious metals that were like it was dipped in. It was dipped in like a silver bath. Like whenever
What
they
did
made it.
what if they did it like in gold?
That would be crazy.
This is solid gold. Don't touch it. Dude, that would be. I want to make a solid gold movie, dude. We need that. That would be sick.
That gold film
But
copy is $18,000.
dude, we should make a VHS movie though, for real. I mean, we should screen it at like a couple festivals. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think we would have to have some sort of. What medium do those films usually like are on when you watch it in theaters? Is that
A digital. It's like a DCP, which is just a digital copy.
okay? So we could make it a digital copy just for those films, and then just
Yeah, just so the festivals. Yeah, then release it. Yeah, on our own through VHS. The thing is too though is that we could even release like do like have one like showing where we just show it online one time. You know what I mean? With everybody, we just
You show it online once, it's online forever. Because if people like it, then they're gonna pirate it, or they're gonna literally screen record while they watch it.
I just say yeah, we can't tell them. All right, don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. We're lying.
Online.
We're lying.
Like there's actually a bunch of silent films where the only thing that's left is the trailer. For some reason, like a lot of trailers are left.
Dude, I showed you that video, didn't I, of the little clips where that guy he put them online. He's like unidentified film clips.
Yeah, and I recognize one of the guys in one of the films. It's pretty cool.
Why didn't you comment that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. If you're a big Three Stooges fan, you'll recognize that guy's face. That guy's face has been in a bunch of Three Stooges.
I know, but like that's like now you're like that guy. That guy should know. That guy should watch Three Stooges and get with it.
Yeah. What is it? Do you know there's actually a lot of lost American films are in Europe? I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them have been discovered in Europe, in Czechoslovakia, in France. The Sherlock Holmes was discovered in France because they would like ship copies overseas to Europe whenever a movie would come out. If it was a big movie.
Dude.
And, yeah, they get lost in America, but then people in Europe wouldn't even know that it was lost.
Yeah, like private collectors. Well, I've heard of like people finding them in like private collections, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like,
well, I don't know if you knew about the story of Metropolis and the longer cut. Do you know the story about that?
No, but I love that movie. I saw that one in theater actually.
No way, really? The 2.5-hour version?
Yeah, the most complete cut they have right now. I think it's actually even longer though. They have supposedly there's more. They haven't discovered.
Yeah, so the most complete cut is like the 2.5 hours, 240 edition, and so that edition, it was cut, and it wasn't. No one got to see that version when it came out, except for like a few select theaters that got like copies that were released. In like other countries, they had them. So in Argentina, they released the 2-hour and like 40-minute version, thinking that that's just the film that everyone else has, not realizing that everyone else in the world at the time only had the 1.5-hour long version that had a bunch of stuff cut out. It had the character Hell was cut out completely.
Wow.
Yeah, which is like a huge deal. I was like, I remember hearing that and like there was like thinking that that's such a big part of the movie. It's like cutting Darth Vader out of Star Wars.
You know what's really cool about that movie? I remember watching it in theaters, and I was just blown away by the scale. I mean, the movie's just so. Even for a silent movie, I was just blown away by like.
A lot of people consider it the greatest silent film ever.
Yeah, it reminded me of like seeing Star Wars for the first time as a kid. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, wow. You know what I mean? I was just like blown away by the just vast nature of this movie. You know.
Universe.
Yeah, it was just really beautiful. What was I going to say though? I've been meaning to ask you though too. Have you seen Intolerance by D.W. Griffith?
No, I don't think I have. No, I've seen a few of his films, but real quick, one thing I wanted to say about Metropolis was in Argentina they had the only copy in the world, and they thought like literally all the other copies of the longer version were lost, and it was like 1930s, and this theater owner just kept playing. So like the reason why when you watch the 240 version, there's parts of it that are like super messed up, and then other parts that are okay. You know,
Yeah.
is because that one copy that was left got like played like thousands of
He
times.
got his money out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's one scene. There's even one scene where it's just a black screen, and they just describe what happened. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I actually thought that was really cool.
That is really cool. I was actually about to tell you though. That's what I wanted to tell you. Was Fritz Lang? Adolf Hitler wanted Fritz Lang to be his filmmaker instead of Leni Riefenstahl. Riefenstahl. I don't know how you say her name, but the girl who made all the Nazi movies. But Fritz Lang actually fled to America, and then he ended up making a bunch of American movies. Yeah, but this actually reminded me though. You know the movie before France got occupied and they made it illegal for them to show American movies. I think it was when they got occupied by Germany in World War II. They screened Mr. Smith going to Washington. No, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington on repeat for like I think a whole day. And I just thought it was so funny because I love the idea that like I don't know like that's like a protest movie, you know, or just like any movie could be a protest movie, you know. It'd been even funnier though if they had played Metropolis as like a.
This is our life now. I mean, this is our life now. Is Metropolis. People just walking into suicide booths and killing themselves. People like the biggest thing that got me was like in the movie it was like a dystopian future where like the workers were like worked to death and the rich had like immense amounts of wealth. But I think like why would the peasants like care about the machines running that much, like that badly? Like why would it be like you have to run the machines, like, you know what I mean? You have to.
Well, it's funny how the machines, the way they had the running of the machines was really funny, right? Because it was literally such a physical. Yeah, it was such a physical activity. Like even machines nowadays don't do that. I think it was just more of a metaphor though for the, for the separation of those two things. But what I was gonna say was, I really thought it was funny though how they have this like robot that becomes a woman. You know, I don't know, like I was just thinking like that's sometimes you see in movies technology where you're like that's not gonna happen for like maybe ever. Like that, you know what I mean? Like something like that would be so far out of like where we're at right now.
That was actually I was watching a video and they were saying that was the first representation in film ever where they had a robot that was identical to a human, which that storyline that in movies has been done a bunch of times. You know, like an Alien and Aliens, where it's like an android, it's not a real person, or something like that. Like, or an AI. It's been done a bunch of times where like the character you find out eventually is a robot. But the first time it was ever done was in Metropolis, where
no, I mean that's crazy. I think that's awesome. By the way, to clarify, what I meant is that we've already created like robots like that look human enough, you know. What I meant was like yeah, but what I meant was like the way that they do in Metropolis is that they completely copy her image onto the robot to where like they're like you cannot tell what is human and what's robot, you know.
Because they couldn't build a real robot. They needed the robot to be a person.
Well, what they could have done though is created like a fake skin to put around the robot, which would have been hilarious.
That would have been so hilariously bad. They never would have made it look exact. I mean, did they even have silicone in 19?
They even have silicone.
But they have to use clay, and it'll be like.
It's like King Kong. They have to like it's like claymation.
Yeah, it would look so bad. But even King Kong, like the things that they were able to do in King Kong, I was kind of amazed by. Like how they were able to like overlay the images of real people onto the claymation, you know?
Dude,
like
the original King Kong is so good. I really do love the original King Kong, and it would be my favorite King Kong if Peter Jackson hadn't just made the perfect King Kong movie.
He made the exact same movie, just so amazingly better.
Well, the thing is
using all of modern technology and CGI.
Yeah. The thing is too though is that there's other scenes in it too that I just think are like really he gets the point of why like he really loves King Kong in the way that I love King Kong. And then, I mean that whole scene where he's on the ice with Naomi Watts. Do you remember that? He's like slipping on the ice with Naomi Watts, and I don't know, it's just such a beautiful scene.
Is that in New York or is that in?
No, that's in New York. Remember, he's like this is after he like already like broke her out of wherever she was at. But what I was gonna say is actually they took that from the 76 or 70, I think it's 76, King Kong. Yeah, the 76 King Kong was the romantic love like the actual romantic story between the two, and that's why I think it's better than the 33s because the 33 doesn't really have that.
The thing about the 1933 one that I thought was hilarious is that she's like, "Kill him now, kill him!" Like the second There was no feeling at all, which I totally get, because to be honest, if there was a giant gorilla the size of a building walking around, stepping on men, women, and children, like just destroying cars, like just stepping on school buses and like killing people like 10 at a time when he steps down, no one would think, oh, like, let's preserve this
Oh,
organism.
come on, dude.
You know
In
what I
the
mean?
Jackson one, dude, it makes a lot of sense.
No one would be like, oh no, like, let's save it. Like, no, dude. They
I
would
totally
gun that thing down as
I'm-
quickly as possible.
I'm pro King Kong.
Bro,
I would
he
say
stepped on your family. Your family is dead now.
He did. He step on families in the Peter Jackson one.
Totally did. He totally did.
I don't remember him stepping on a single family. In fact, I don't remember him actually like killing.
Sometimes they didn't show it. Sometimes they showed the top half of King Kong. There was some bloody massacre happening right below frame. I'm telling you, there was some it was Slaughterhouse 5 right below that screen. I'm telling you, and those cars had like no protection either, just chopping right through Model Ts.
Dude, what are you talking about, dude? I gotta say this real quick. It's funny to me how like our conception of King Kong has like changed so much over the years. Like I remember I was making this joke the other day. Maybe I was actually telling you about it. How like King Kong went from climbing up the Empire State Building to the size of the Empire State Building. You know what I mean? Like we've just we've just wanted to go bigger and bigger and bigger until he can fight Godzilla.
Well, the problem is that they made King Kong in the 1930s, and he was about 50 feet. It was about almost like 6-7 times the height of a person. But the thing is that when they made Godzilla, they literally made him like 150 feet. They made him to where he could like push over the Empire State Building standing next to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, dude, go ahead.
So it's like, I think they have to make Kong better. Like Godzilla, did you see Godzilla versus Kong?
I did, yeah.
That was an awesome, fun.
I thought it was really fun and cool. I'm a little disappointed in the sense of like, I really do think if I directed it, it would have been better, but I mean,
Godzilla kicked King Kong around.
Okay, hold up. He has
Ragdoll.
laser beams. He has laser beams coming from his mouth. What do you like, dude? Have you seen? Hold up. Have you seen
Godzilla?
Yeah. Have you seen Godzilla? Godzilla 2000, I think, where Godzilla fights the 1998 version of Godzilla, the American one. You know what I'm talking about? Dude, you should look it up. It's just a quick scene. But anyways, he fights the Roland Emmerich one, right? The American one that's like more like a dinosaur.
That everyone in Japan like hated.
Yeah, dude. Well, anyways, dude, and he literally kills him in like 3 seconds. Like he just explodes.
Well, there is something about Godzilla, like Godzilla versus Destroyer was actually a pretty good film.
Dude, Godzilla versus Destroyer. I actually like the Godzilla 2014 one's my favorite Godzilla. I think it's the best one.
2014 one was really good.
I think, and on top of that, here's the thing. I don't think Godzilla is king of monsters necessarily. I do think King Kong would have way better fight. I do, like in real, like, okay, they actually fought. Like those two creatures came together. I think they have a way better fight. I think the problem is that when they designed Godzilla, they really designed him in such a like let me put it this way. You're right. They designed King Kong in the 30s. They designed Godzilla after nuclear bomb had gone off. Right? Like I'm saying like our conception of what power was and how like you could use like destructive forces was so much different than it, like, you know what I mean? The worst thing that happened in World War I was like, you know, mustard gas and stuff. And then I'm saying like now you have Godzilla who's like World War II, you know, and you literally just have a nuclear bomb that could end the world. You know what I mean? I mean, our conception of what was possible is so different at that point.
They did. I don't know. It's like after watching Godzilla versus Kong, you just felt like he really is the king of the monsters. Godzilla.
No. Oh, what about King Ghidorah, dude?
King Ghidorah?
Ghidorah.
Was that in one of the movies?
No, that's the one. That's the one he fights. Well, okay, so it actually fights Mechagodzilla, which is King Ghidorah though, in a robot.
Oh, okay. But they killed him though. They killed.
Yeah, but then they took his brain. Remember, they took his brain and they put it in a robot.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, did they show that in the movie though?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They showed that in King Kong vs. Godzilla.
I watched King Kong Escapes from 1966.
Was it good?
Dude, it was so bad. That movie, I heard a guy say that movie aged like milk because like it was literally one of the storylines was that he goes to like one of those indigenous islands and King Kong, and he just starts killing people. Problem is, it's made by Japanese people, So it was an entire village of people that were Japanese that were all in blackface. Every single one of them. Men, women, and children. And they were all wearing black fuzzy afros and talking in Japanese. And it was really, really bad and really hard to watch.
I can't believe how openly racist like older movies are sometimes. Like you were saying about Birth of a Nation, where you're like it's racism is alive and well. It is crazy how like they just didn't care. Like imagine a bunch of Asians just doing blackface and by the way, that is the most
like hundreds, like over
racist,
100.
Yeah, that's the most racist depiction. Could you? I bet they still spoke in Japanese too.
Yeah, they did, and they were like throwing spears and like wearing loincloths and like stuff like that, and it was so bad.
It's crazy to me that like again, like I said, like that things were just so openly racist. But you know what's even funnier though, or not funnier, but what's even more crazy to me is that like Godzilla's suit, the guy in the Godzilla suit. I've always wanted one of those. Have I not told you that this is like a lifelong dream of mine to get a Godzilla suit and make like a comedy?
Suit?
What?
You wouldn't want a King Kong suit? They did the King Kong suit in King Kong Escapes.
No, dude. Okay, come on. No, I want a Godzilla suit, dude. Here's the thing. I want a Godzilla suit, but this is what's crazy to me is that they actually have like a suit though. Like they have real suits like that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course.
But what I'm saying is you would think though that would be like, oh yeah, like you know what I mean? Like they keep it on the hush hush. But I'm saying like I'm pretty sure, dude, you could go find a Godzilla suit right now, but like an actual like you could movie length or movie quality. What?
I bet it would cost a few hundred probably.
I would take it, dude. But I want to do like a movie where like I'm just randomly in a Godzilla costume. Like it's like a comedy, and I'm like dressed up for Halloween, and I'm a Godzilla.
You can't see. The original guy couldn't see. His eyes were where Godzilla's neck was. Yeah, he had to get stage direction.
I think it would be so funny if like somebody ran like I can imagine this movie scene like it's Halloween, right? And then okay, so it's me, you. We're doing like Halloween stuff with our kids, and I'm dressed up as Godzilla, and you're not dressed up as anything, or maybe you're dressed up as a cop, right? And so then, like these people are like robbing this like home, right? And then they like see us and they run at us, and they like you know what I mean? They attack you, and then they just push me over because I can't see anything, and I just like roll over, and I'm just like.
I don't know why. For some reason, I'm thinking about how hilarious it would be if they just pulled out like a real gun and just shot you in the face when you're wearing your gun. They literally, that's how your dead body is they have to pull the stupid Godzilla costume off of your dead body. Like, you're like that. Like, getting killed in a Halloween costume is the most embarrassing way to get killed. They'd be like, oh, who killed Dr. Evil? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, screw that. I'm gonna wear a Gamera. Do you know who Gamera is?
Who?
Gamera.
No, I don't.
He's another kaiju. He's a turtle kaiju though. He's the other like Godzilla knockoff.
Oh yeah.
What if I wore a Gamera one and they just tipped me over like a turtle?
It's all like 3 people would get what your costume. The problem is you can't have a costume that you have to explain it to everyone. Like, no, like it's from this movie, it's from this thing. Like, you know, like you have to like
Gamera. People know Gamera. All right, listen, everybody who watches this, if you know Gamera, put in the comments because seriously, I bet there are some people who know Gamera. Gamera has like 12 movies at least.
Give us a dislike if you haven't seen Gamera. This video is gonna get destroyed.
Gamera, dude, Gamera. First off, I didn't say I've seen all the Gamera movies. I'm just saying if you know who Gamera is.
So now there's multiple Gamera movies? There's a series of Gamera movies.
Yes, dude. There's like 20. I said 12 a second ago. I'm pretty sure it's 20 though.
All right, man. All right. But I'm just saying it would be hilarious to get killed in a Gamera costume. You know what I mean? Dude, a giant turtle. Dude, like, who killed the turtle?
Dude, what if I was in the Scream costume and I'm like,
yeah.
They stabbed me right through the throat.
We got a double homicide. Freddy Krueger and Mummy have been brutally executed. Like, you know what I mean?
We got lit up.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees got destroyed. He got obliterated. There's pieces of him everywhere.
What if it was something funnier? Like, yeah, we got Tom Brady in the parking lot. Tom Brady costume.
We got OJ Simpson. That would be a funny one.
Or dude, what if I was Bill Belichick? I just have to wear the Patriots hoodie and be kind of fat.
Yeah, he's actually lost a lot of weight recently. Like he looks a lot skinnier than he was. But
Well,
that does roll me into another topic I want to tell you about. For those of you who don't know, I got a job at this pesticide company, and the two guys who run it are brothers, and they were both in the NFL. And did you ever look that guy up, Dallas Reynolds?
Yeah.
So he did 7 years in the NFL, and he was telling me stories about it. He's an offensive lineman, and he said that what is it? It was really competitive.
Did you just fart?
I did not. I farted like 20 minutes ago, but not now.
I thought I heard what was that? You went.
No, it's this creak of the chair.
No, I heard you like a little sigh.
I think I burped. But
anyways.
Yeah, he's saying that during training camp, he would have like two roommates in his room, and he said that sometimes they'd wake up in the morning and there'd just be an empty bed. The guy would be gone. Because they'd wake him up at night and they'd cut him and they'd send him packing like that night. And, yeah. That happened a lot.
That's crazy.
Because guys get cut.
What'd you say?
It's like, you ever see Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
It's a dogfight. The last 10 spots of the roster, it is a dogfight to see who gets to like stay. The third stars.
Yeah, I mean they say that, and I believe it, but you do know a lot of those guys end up on the practice squad. Like
I'm saying, a lot of guys do everything they can to not be on the practice squad, because practice squad is like they're below league minimum. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean they're not getting McDonald's money. I mean they're getting a little,
It is crazy to see like the money that people get. Like you'll look at me and a buddy of mine were talking about that. Like you look at like the assistant wide receiver coach for the Bengals, and he'll be getting paid like $400,000 a year, and you're like, what the heck? The assistant wide receiver coach gets that much money? Like,
yeah, that is crazy. That's super cool.
I was trying to think, like, all right, I was thinking about that. If your goal in life, if you were singularly focused on making the absolute most amount of money the quickest, what is let's just say, throw all your dreams out the window, right? Let's just say from high school, you're 18 years old, you go to college. What is like the quickest way you get your 4-year degree in something? What is like the quickest way to make the most amount of money? Is it business? Do you just do business? And
yeah, I would say business / technology. Get into like e-commerce and stuff like that.
I feel like they can make a lot of money at 21 years old. They can make like $100,000, or real estate agents maybe.
Now, real estate agents, it's too much money right away. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the startup is a little slower than I think with Now the real estate's longer. Like everybody always will need real estate. So I'm saying that's like an easier, like longevity wise, it's better. Yeah, it's a better long bet. But I'm saying quickest though. I mean, you hear of kids becoming millionaires because they started an app. You know what I mean? And then they sold the app. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like start an app and then just sell it. You know what I mean? Start another app, sell that one.
I heard it's really difficult to start an app.
I think it's difficult if you have most people have really complex ideas, but I mean, I heard of somebody selling an app that was just simple, something that just keeps track of all your documents. You know what I mean? Like you scan a document in there and then you can keep it on there for and you can put it in the cloud, but it's like a very official thing. You know what I mean?
Like Acrobat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've just heard of other people creating really silly, simple things. And I don't mean silly in a bad way. I mean, silly in the sense of yeah, I just mean silly in the sense of it's one of those it's like an all white painting where you're like, I could have done that. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't. You know what I mean? But and that's the truth is you could do an all white painting, but you didn't. And you also didn't convince anybody to buy it for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That is another thing. How quickly could you just make thousands of dollars being an artist? Because all you really need to do is look official, have a few people vouch for you being like, this guy's an artist, and then get your stuff in an art gallery, in one of those art curator shows where those shows where a bunch of rich people all come out and they'll show 10 paintings.
Yeah.
And it'll be the works of John Alfred Lawrence or something weird like that, and then they'll just try to sell they'll just try to sell all of his paintings. You know what I mean? And his paintings will be crappy, but no one cares because they just want like a piece. And they'll all be selling for like $10,000, $15,000.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though, is that a lot of that money doesn't even go to the artist; it goes to the curator, right? That's a problem with actually the art industry, is that a lot of it's run by the people who curate the art. So like, not the curators. I can't remember what they're called, but anyways, it's not curator. I don't think is it. There's like very
curator is the one who organizes and sells all the paintings.
Is it? Well, also there's people who curate things and they just value things at a certain price, right? There's certain kinds of curators, I guess. But either way, the point is that the art industry, though, is run by a select few, and basically they just select certain artists and they say, hey, these artists are valuable and these other artists aren't. And that's kind of how like it works. And it's not like it always works like that, because there are some artists that haven't come up like that. And like I know some people, that I've met like online and stuff, who've sold artworks for like $1,000 and stuff like that. But I'm saying like that big money, they're like, oh man, that art piece is worth 100,000, comes from an art curator saying it's worth that much, right? Like it's not, and that's the sad part, is like, because you can't really put a price on a painting. It's only what somebody says it's worth.
Well, and the thing is that with the way the art market is like I watch documentaries about stolen art and different art pieces. There's a big criminal industry in artwork, because a lot of guys would steal artwork and then use it as like a bargaining chip in case they ever got
caught.
In case they ever got caught, it'd be like, hey, I know where these paintings are, if you like let me go, type of thing. Or like another thing is like a lot of people will invest. They see it as an investment, like investing in stocks, and they literally won't care at all about art. They don't care about art. They literally might not even hang it up. They just might put it in storage. And I have a Monet, you know what I mean? Just to say that they have one, or I have a Jackson Pollock. And it's not even because they care about it. It's just because like, oh, right now it's worth 50,000. In 10 years, it might be worth 80. So it's like, and they just see it as an investment thing.
Yeah, I mean, those, by the way, the ones that you just named, like a Monet or like a Jackson Pollock, I mean, those are bankable names, right? Like those are never going to lose value. But like new artists, that's another thing, is you got to bet on a new artist. Well, I mean, how can you know this new artist is going to be good? Is going to continue to rise in value. I'm saying you get a Monet, I mean, that thing will be valuable, and I mean, until you die. Like it's not going to ever, I mean, unless we go through like a, unless all of society collapses and then like, everything, it goes to like, yeah, right. But I'm saying outside of this scenario where, like, I'm saying if society still has value in art, right, the art still has value, then that'll have value, because Monet is such a big name, same with Picasso.
Or if there's like a recession, like during the 2008 recession, a lot of values of like a lot of like really expensive things went down because there wasn't as many rich people buying tons of stuff.
Well, it'll go down, but what I meant by the collapse of a society is that like it would take us having like no value in art, right? Because I'm saying like, so here's the thing, that's why I always believe in like investing in things that are of value regardless of like anything. So like, for instance, I would see guns as investments. You know what I mean? I might buy a gun because I see it as investment, because I'm saying, look, practically, it's very practical, right? If there is an apocalypse, maybe I might need to use it at some point. And on top of that, though, it'll always have value. You know what I mean? Like even right now, if I sold a gun, it would still have value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a gun is a gun. It's always, as long as you keep it well maintained. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Whereas a piece of art, and I love art, by the way, I just mean a piece of art though has no place relatively in like an apocalyptic world, in the same way that like a gun does. Like which one's going to sell faster, this Monet that I have or this gun? You know what I mean? I mean, it's not going to. This water that I have, or I mean, obviously water's not really an investment, but you know what I mean, though.
Well, gold will always have. That's another thing. Gold, silver, precious metals like copper, like those, like will always have value. Because the thing that amazes me, we were talking about this a little bit, is that about how people put so much value in trees, like not cutting down trees, not using trees, and I agree that there are some forests that you should protect, like the redwood forest or national forest, stuff like that. But like, if you could just keep cutting down trees that no one cares about and just keep planting them back up and keep like renewing the forest, like they do that thing where they cut down like every other tree in a forest, and then like 10 years later they cut down the other ones, type of thing. Then it's like you always have trees, you'll always have them, they'll always be around. But metal, there's only a certain amount of gold in the earth. There's only a certain amount of silver, platinum, palladium. There's only a certain amount of iron, even though iron's like super common. But like, there's only a certain amount of like you can't make more metal, but you can make more trees. You know what I mean? Like,
well, certain metals you can make, but not every metal.
The metal that's in the Earth's crust is what's there.
Well, I meant like, isn't steel man-made? Like steel's not an actual.
Yeah, but they didn't make metal. It's so I don't know if you know very much about steel.
No,
Steel's actually it's literally just iron, coal, coke, and a few other like chemicals.
Did you say Coke?
Yeah, no, that's what they call it. It's called Coke, Coke, and it's actually been around longer than Coke, the drink, but that's what they called it. Was Coke.
Like,
It's like this.
All right, here, open up a 12-pack. Here, let's pour some.
If you've ever seen iron Coke or like coal Coke, it's pretty much like black powder.
Okay.
And they take it from the ground and they mix that with carbon and with iron. But iron is the most common element in the Earth's crust besides carbon. So it's like it's like the most common solid metal on Earth. So it's like all steel is also iron. So it's not like, but so it's like there's all kinds of it. You can never run out. Like at some point you will run out of it. Not like any organic material. Like we will eventually run out. Like leather. Like we're never ever gonna run out of leather as long as there's cows around. Like we're never gonna run out of milk. We're never gonna run out of dairy products or beef. Like there's always because you can keep, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's assuming we always have cows though. I mean that could change.
No, I'm saying if you keep the population around, then we'll always have it.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I think that's definitely pretty interesting.
Because like you can't make more metal. That's like one thing that no one ever talks about. But I always think about that. I'm like, what if there's 1,000 years from now, right? What if gold is like super super rare? What if it's like 100 times more rare?
The problem with gold though is the gold's not like particularly that special in the sense of like it's not all that is it. I mean, if I remember correctly, isn't steel the strongest metal?
So steel is the strongest metal, yeah, in terms of tensile strength, in terms of like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Which it's not the strongest. It's not on the periodic table because it's an alloy. You know?
Yeah.
But the strongest like individual metal itself, I think, is titanium. Like if you just take a metal from the periodic table, strong.
Well, that's what I mean though, is that like it strikes me that gold has no practical use beyond average metal. So like for instance, if your zipper was made of gold, I mean it would just be the same as if it's made of what it's made of now, right?
So gold is a soft metal. So it can't be used for like any sort of like structural thing. It can't be used in homes or houses or anything like that. Even if you wanted to, like you couldn't do it.
So that's what I'm saying though. Okay, but that kind of furthers the point though, right? Like you can't even build anything with it.
Well, it's the world's most malleable metal. I don't know if you knew that. And
aluminum isn't?
No, it's actually gold. Gold, a little 1 gram block of gold can be stretched across like 34 miles of film.
Wow.
Same thing with a wire. You could take that little gold thing and stretch that wire from it for like miles and miles and miles and miles. It's like the most malleable. Silver is the most conductive metal on Earth. So
silver would be really valuable.
So silver would be valuable in electronics, but they use copper because copper is the second most conductive and it's way cheaper. So they just use
silver. Yeah.
And even copper is more expensive than a lot of gunmetals. Like copper is more valuable than steel, than aluminum, than iron, or like it's more valuable than like your basic metals.
I mean, I had no idea you knew so much about metals.
Yeah, I really love the idea of I love like forging metal. I want to get my own metal forge. I built my own forge for a little bit, and I melted some pennies down. So cool.
Isn't that illegal?
It's actually only illegal to release them back out into circulation. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
So if I were to like destroy a $1 bill and then put it back out into circulation and it's all messed up, that's like where it becomes.
How could you?
And then the thing with metal is that I'm allowed to melt it down, but I can't melt it down for commercial use. So I can't like start a business out of like melting copper bricks.
Let's melt down pennies. Well, isn't it mostly zinc anyways?
Modern pennies, all pennies 1982 and newer, or 1970.
I think it's 70.
And no, it was 1982 because they were still making copper pennies all the way up until 1982, and then in 1982 they switched to zinc. So some 82 pennies are copper and some are zinc, and then all those after. And then throughout from 82 to 2023, they have done everything they can to make it as thin as possible, as flat, as like small as they can. And it was like 90% zinc, and now it's like 98% zinc. It's like even Like it was like that video that we watched.
Yeah.
It was like
They light it on fire.
it's like the thinnest copper film possible over the top and back.
Yeah.
And whereas like ones from the 80s, they are made of zinc, but it's still copper plated, so it's like a thicker. Even that will be better than a modern day penny. But
that's pretty cool, man.
I could talk about pennies.
Yeah. Did you want to do that tournament thing?
Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, we got a tournament of action movie heroes. We love action movies, and right now I think it's probably my favorite genre currently of all of the movies that are being made today. Second only to comedy. Comedy is my favorite and action. But
yeah.
All right, so I got a round of 16.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. Yeah, I don't even know. So I'm with the audience right now. Where I'm going in blind.
Okay, so this is a tournament to see in a movie who would win. We want to do in a movie or in real life, you think? Probably.
Let's do kind of like. That's tough. What do you mean?
Let's say do it in a movie because like.
You mean like Godzilla versus King Kong style?
Yeah. Okay. So Keanu Reeves versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Wait to see who is the king of the monsters or king of the action.
See who's the king of the action heroes. Yeah. So
Keanu
Reeves versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Sorry, go ahead. Rename it. Go ahead.
Keanu Reeves versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then we have Bruce Willis versus Jason Statham, the Baldies. Then Jackie Chan versus Scott Adkins. That's a tough one.
Well, that's a tough one.
Stallone versus Seagal. I wanted to give him easy first one. And then Dolph Lundgren versus Schwarzenegger.
All right.
And Kurt Russell versus Vin Diesel.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one.
Jet Li versus Bruce Lee. Want to do the Lees.
Yeah.
And then, oh dang, I have Chan on here twice.
wait. Who is it against? Who is it against Jackie Chan? We'll pick another action star.
Chan versus The Rock. So I have Chan versus The Rock or Chan versus Adkins. Which Chan do you want me to get rid of?
Let's do.
Is there another one I haven't named that would be a good one to put in there?
You said Jean-Claude Van Damme. Did you say? Yeah, you said Steven Seagal. I'll have to wait. Who else?
I've named almost every one of the big ones.
Action stars, real quick. Let's just see if there's any we can come up with. Tom Cruise. What about Tom Cruise? No. He's not.
Oh yeah, we could put Tom Cruise. I mean, he does do dramatic roles, but he's a big action guy.
Yeah. Wait. Tom Cruise or Chuck Norris?
I'll do Chuck Norris.
All right.
I forgot about Chuck Norris. All right. So the first one, I think Keanu Reeves, because of the Wick movies, I think that he goes decently far in the tournament. I think he beats Van Damme.
I really love Van Damme, and really, I would in the Wick movies are. I would have to say, actually, I feel like him as Neo though would probably, I would give him the win enough. You know what I mean? I'm saying just him as Neo, but.
Wait, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No. Neo in the Matrix, dude.
Oh, that's his character's name?
Yeah, when did you see the Matrix?
I've seen the Matrix, but I'm not like a mega fan of it. I don't remember the name.
His name was just Neo. I don't know. Is it Mr. Anderson? I don't know. Anyways,
dude, Jean-Claude Van Damme slits Keanu Reeves' throat with a building.
I think
he throws it like a frisbee.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is a little.
He has more outrageous fights.
Yeah, he's a little predictable though too. Like in the sense of like, he's going to be in a fight tournament probably. Now I love him.
He's made fight tournament movies. That's a good point. He knows he's experienced in this.
But the problem is that he's made fight tournament movies, but he's never done a full John Wick.
That's true. I'm gonna put Reeves. My vote is, I think. Do you want to vote Reeves?
We're gonna go Reeves.
Yeah, I put K Reeves to not be confused with Christopher Reeves.
That's smart.
Okay, so Reeves moves on to the next round. Statham versus Willis. This is a good one. I want to go prime time. Prime time for all these guys. Not like old Willis versus old Statham.
Yeah. I think so. I'll start off on this one. I think
Statham is more built physically.
Yeah. I think Statham. I got Statham because I think Statham's roles have been a lot more physical. I think Bruce Willis at his best, like Die Hard Bruce Willis, is still kind of more of like a a dunk and dive kind of guy, right? He'll hit he'll hit you 5 times and then boom 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 boom, run away, and then he'll get you again.
And he's always like destroyed by the end of every action movie. He's always like covered in blood, got like 8 bullet wounds, got like a finger that's like cranked this way. He's like always like limping and like barely alive by the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
He's always barely alive. I think
Statham takes the win here.
Yeah, Statham. I think Statham, even just the way he is, he's more. I think he wins in every category, really.
Yeah, that's fair. This is gonna be a tough one because I know you love Scott Adkins. So it's gonna be Adkins versus Chan.
Yeah.
In joke fighting, Chan wins. Chan wins the tournament outright.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that's what would happen. Jackie Chan would do like a funny, like, oh, like I kicked you in the balls. How hilarious is that? And then he would like grab his head and just crack him and like kill him. Like he would just go straight for the kill so quickly.
I love Scott Adkins, as you know. And I think Scott Adkins in a lot of his movies has been like really great. Obviously, I think he's definitely been more physical, been more serious. Obviously, I think Jackie Chan though, I think he kind of has this like cat-like reflex.
He has like the quickness.
He just has this cat kind of ability to always like not get hurt. Like even in Police Story, where he literally slid down this pole. You know what I mean? Like 80 feet. He literally slid down it. In real life, he broke some bone in his back, I think, and he literally. Yeah, he broke. Well, it wasn't a vertebrae. I don't think it was it was some bone by his back. But anyways, he broke it though, and he still got up in that take, and he chased after the bad guy and like tackled him down. He has this kind of like cat-like ability to always be like okay, even when he's injured.
Very energetic. I'm gonna put Chan then.
Chan. I'm gonna go Jackie Chan.
Okay, and then we have Steven Seagal versus Stallone. I wanted to put Seagal on there just because I think it would be hilarious to just trash Steven Seagal for a little bit. Because I feel like he would do like the karate move or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny though because I feel like Steven Seagal actually like in his early years, like primetime Steven Seagal I think he'd put up a decent fight. You know what I mean? But I mean, again, you got to keep in mind. I mean, here's the thing: in primetime Stallone, he's either Rocky or he's Rambo, right? And I'm saying either way he's winning.
He's either a special forces trained killer, or the underdog boxer with a big heart.
Dude, did Rocky even know how to block? Like, come on. Like, I mean, seriously, dude, you think Steven Seagal is going to beat him if Apollo Creed? If freaking Dolph Lundgren didn't beat him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good one. I should have put them in the same side of the bracket. Lundgren and Stallone.
Seagal, dude. Steven Seagal would literally... He would, like, I just imagine this is how it would go. Like, Steven Seagal would, like, get him a couple times and, like, he wouldn't block at all. And so Steven Seagal would feel really good about himself and he would get, like, sloppy with it. And then, like, so he'd go Rocky, right? Stallone starts off as Rocky and kind of, like, and then he just takes a couple shots to the face to see what, what he's made of. And then Steven Seagal would get a little cocky, right? And he'd go for a move. And then Stallone would just punch right through his abdomen. He'd punch right through his abdomen. He has like a hole. He's just a giant hole where his abdomen used to be. Now it's still
like a cannonball wound. Like, oh, what? Okay, Dolph Lundgren or Schwarzenegger. This is gonna be a rough one. A lot of muscles, a lot of dude sweat in this fight. It's almost an homoerotic fight is what's gonna be happening. With a good training montage for both.
Yeah, man. That's so tough too.
That's a tough.
I'm gonna go Arnold. I think
I definitely put Schwarzenegger and Stallone on other sides of the bracket. You have to.
Yeah, I think Lundgren just doesn't have enough. I think he's like he plays the bad guy so often, and I just don't know. In the sense of
he loses a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. He's the bad guy too often. I think he just loses so often. Even when Arnold Schwarzenegger lost in Terminator, it was awesome. I mean, he freaking killed it. You know what I mean? In freaking Terminator.
Yeah, that's true. He can't be killed. Another one. So this one, I put Kurt Russell and Vin Diesel next to each other. But Kurt Russell, I feel like, is like barely making the list because I feel like he hasn't been in really as many action movies.
I think it's nice though that they both also like Vin Diesel. I'm gonna go Vin Diesel because I've seen him in Riddick, and I think him as Riddick is like would give him the win. But I think Kurt Russell, like everything else he's done is really, on par with Kurt Russell. Like, what does he do in the Fast movies? He just drives really well. Like, is that an action ability? I mean, that's not gonna help him in a fight.
That's true. I still would put Diesel above because he has way more muscles. He has way more like tough guy energy. He's been in a lot more fight scenes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying. He has a couple of those movies where I'm like, yeah, okay, he's got some skills. Or even like what would we watch? Bloodshot. Do you ever watch Bloodshot?
Bloodshot was crazy.
Dude, yeah, he was good in Bloodshot.
That was a good movie. Yeah.
That scene in the freaking tunnel where it's like, you know what I mean? Where the dust and it's like, and there's that red light just blinking, and he's just going, bah, 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 bah.
All right, so now we got the Lees. We got Bruce Lee or Jet Li.
Yeah, I like Jet Li a lot, but I think it's kind of obvious who wins. Like, sorry, but like,
they also, the reason why Jet Li loses is because Jet Li has like almost the identical fighting style as Bruce Lee, and he's just not as good.
And also, he never fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, I'm sorry, but like that gives Bruce Lee the advantage. Like, if we're gonna talk about height, like that has to give Bruce Lee the win.
Bruce Lee fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Dude, you don't remember that in Game of Death, the top?
Oh, Game of Death, yeah.
Yeah, he was the best. He was the last guy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is hilarious. But
now we have The Rock and Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris has a lot of legend and lore surrounded by him because he's Walker, Texas Ranger.
Have I seen The Rock fight? Have you seen The Rock fight in a movie? I'm trying to think of movies.
Definitely fight. He's fought in the Fast and Furious movies. He's fought in a few different movies. He fought in Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, kind of. He kind of fought in that one a bit.
He fought in that movie where he was a truck driver and he had to like get back his son. I think it was called.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I might give it to Chuck Norris. I mean, I don't know how you feeling. I feel like Chuck Norris. He did fight.
You're clouded by The Rock's ego. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You know what's funny though? I really loved The Rock as a kid, like when he was a wrestler. So I mean, okay, I think because I can't think of any professional, even if wrestling is fake, The Rock still did really wrestle. So
The Rock makes it
The Rock.
Okay.
We
have Keanu Reeves and Statham.
That's a really good matchup. You shouldn't have put them together so soon.
This is so far. We got Keanu Reeves and Statham at the bottom. Ooh, it's gonna be a rough one. That's like the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. This is like the
Bills.
Versus Bills. I was about to say that. It's the divisional round that everybody wanted to be the championship.
The lone side of the roster is a lot more stacked than but I would still have to give it.
Dude, okay, hold on.
He's John Wick, man.
Here's the listen. Here's the thing. Stallone has gone fisticuffs with freaking The Rock, right?
Oh, we're talking about Statham.
Statham, my bad. What was anything about Stallone? Yeah, dude, Statham.
Yeah, Statham is like smaller, but he seems
Statham. Like... but you know what's weird though? I mean, who is? I mean, that's the thing though. You think about it. John Wick's fought everybody. You know what I mean? John Wick took on like a bunch of dudes all at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but John Wick has more emotion than Jason Statham. Jason Statham is always like he's so much more cold-blooded, which I think would give him a little bit of an edge.
Here's the thing about Statham though. I don't think he's big enough. You know what I mean? Like I think Keanu Reeves might be a bigger guy. Like you know what I mean? He doesn't look bigger, but he's lengthier. I mean.
Yeah, and well, Keanu Reeves does have a few years on Statham.
That's true. Well, okay, but think about this too, though. Statham isn't nearly as good with weapons. You know, like his weapons game is, it's not at the level of like John Wick. The Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I gotta give it to Keanu Reeves. I think. What do you?
Makes it on to the next round.
Moves on to the next round.
Then we have Stallone and Jackie Chan. I think Jackie Chan would dance around, and he would make it difficult for Stallone to kill him. He would take a little bit because he would be trying to like set up bits for each fight. But I think eventually Stallone would get a hold of him, and it wouldn't be funny anymore.
I think
things would get real serious real fast.
Stallone and Jackie Chan are really similar. They both take a lot of damage. Like they take significant amounts of damage.
I
Like
think you're the first one who's ever said that sentence ever. Stallone and Jackie Chan are very similar. I think you're the first one who's ever said that.
no, but they are though, are they not? They take so much damage. Like is
Take
part
a
of
lot of
Rocky
damage, I guess.
is part of Rocky not? Oh my gosh, how is he still standing? I mean, literally, dude, he doesn't know how to block. Like if that was a real boxing match, they would have called it round 1, dude. They're not. That's not a real match.
In the first Rambo, he took almost no hits except for the one bullet to the ear. That's it.
Okay, look, I'm not talking about because that's what I was about to say. Okay, Jackie Chan and that's what I'm saying though. Jackie Chan and Stallone are very similar, but I do think Jackie Chan has never had that like killer instinct. You know what I mean? I don't think he's ever shown that. You know what I mean? He's never pulled a Rambo ever. You know what I mean? So I'd give Stallone the edge, but I just mean they really are so similar. They take way too much damage, which makes me worried. I don't think Stallone. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait till the next round to find out.
Dude, Stallone definitely gonna beat Keanu Reeves. I don't know, man. That's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a rough one. And then we have Vin Diesel and Schwarzenegger. I think Diesel puts up a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I think eventually he has to get out of the car and fight. You know what I mean? I think eventually, no matter what kind of fight he puts up, he has to get out of the car. Like someone's gonna block him in his parking space. He's like,
I'm trying to say that there's really no getting around it. Schwarzenegger is just significantly better. I don't even think there's not really a lot of questioning here.
Okay. And then we have The Rock and Bruce Lee.
At some point, he has to get out of the car. That's a good one. I got Bruce Lee. I think Bruce Lee's quicker, more talented. I think The Rock's a little stiff. He's too big. I think he's not the kind of big that you want to be either. He's just big and stiff. You know?
Yeah, he has a lot of show muscles.
Yeah, exactly. No, do you remember when he said more guys walk up to him and ask him about the muscles than girls? I think like there's a reason, because that's a lot of show muscle. That's not usable muscle. You know what I mean?
That's definitely true. So I'm gonna put the next round.
Who are our final 4? Beat them out.
Our final 4 are Bruce Lee, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and then Keanu Reeves. So that's a good final 4. I like that final 4.
Yeah, I do too.
So it's Stallone versus Reeves. This is gonna be a tough one. I think Stallone moves on.
I don't know. But look at John Wick, dude. And okay, is there?
I might just give it to Reeves because of John Wick.
Dude, is there any more proof like you need really? I mean, I think John Wick 2, and the thing is, he shows in John Wick 3 as well that he is as good at hand combat. I think Rambo's great, and I think really, I mean, we should have a third place, by the way, fight as well. I think absolutely Rambo's great, but Rambo's too he doesn't fight in the open. Like whenever you watch Keanu Reeves fight, I mean, dude, he's literally in the middle of the street just fighting. You know what I mean? He's just taking on 10 dudes at once.
Killed the guy with a book in a library and still was able to keep it quiet.
And I feel, yeah, exactly. I feel like
he still didn't get a shh from the library.
You forget that in Rambo, he was very tactical with it. Like he hid in the bushes, you know what I mean? And he I don't know, he jumped around a lot. He was
militaristic.
Yeah. He just wasn't
taking calculated risks instead of crazy man.
That's what I'm saying, and I feel like Keanu Reeves though just kind of in that movie, even in The Matrix though, I think he's better martial arts moves at least. You know
why? Because he can do the limbo underneath some bullets. He can go like this when the bullets are going by.
Dude. For real though, no. But
he's so great at combat because he can go.
That was sick, dude. That was sick. Okay, are you kidding me?
That was pretty cool.
Dude, I got Keanu Reeves on this one. What do you got?
I think because of the wicks, I'll give it to Reeves. I really wanted to put Stallone in the final 2, but I'll give it to Reeves.
Stallone, you should have put Stallone in the upper bracket because Stallone would have beat up Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Schwarzenegger and Bruce Lee.
I mean, this one's so tough. I don't know. This one's the toughest.
That Schwarzenegger is so big. He's such a bodybuilder. He's such a mass, but not in the same way that The Rock was against
Yeah,
Predator.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. They're different. They're different masses, for masses, but for sure though they are.
He will jump off of a building to get his child a toy for Christmas. You know what I mean?
And I think you see in like I said, the Terminator 2, Predator, he has a lot more mobility. He has a lot more mobility.
Bruce Lee could definitely beat Kindergarten Cop Schwarzenegger, but maybe not Terminator Schwarzenegger.
Well, Predator. I mean, come on, dude. He was
so awesome.
I
don't know if he beat Predator Schwarzenegger.
I don't think he would. Because in that one he's the most mobile. He's the most mobile in that one too. He's almost like, dude. The scary part is Schwarzenegger in that one, dude, is literally like Rambo, but like bigger. But like he's just more talented. It's significant.
There was a scene like that in Twins where Schwarzenegger walked up to a poster and they saw the poster for Rambo 3 and he was like doing a pose like with a gun or something, and then Schwarzenegger was like he's like, I'm not even gonna try to compare my muscles to that because I know I win.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Then for third place we have Bruce Lee and Stallone in the third place competition.
You're gonna go third place first?
Yeah, let's do third place first. I think Stallone takes the W over Lee.
Yeah. I think Bruce Lee's really great. You never see him take significant amounts of damage. And I think that's also why I gave Stallone the loss.
Untouchable.
Yeah, right. And I think that's like the issue is that I've seen Stallone lose and still win. Right, like he'll lose a fight but still win the fight.
Yeah, he'll lose the battle but win the war.
Yeah, and I think Stallone, and that's also why I gave him the loss against Reeves though. He just takes too much damage. Like he just takes. I can't get past how much damage he takes in Rocky.
Yeah, he does take a lot. Yeah, from a boxing perspective.
What do you think?
In the final two, Keanu Reeves, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
makes it to the final.
I'm gonna go Reeves. I think Reeves is pretty untouchable. It's kind of like you said. You said that
hard. The wicks are so good.
You said this. You said this like pretty clearly one time on the podcast, I think, but you say it to me all the time. John Wick 1 is like 97% pure. You know what I mean? Just pure action, and then the next two are just 99, 100% pure. Just pure. They're proof, 100% proof.
If you had to like draw out a line of Wick and snort it, it would be pure Colombian Bam Bam.
That's the thing. Stuff. Even if he hadn't done Wick, I would still almost give it to him for The Matrix. I say almost because I think they're comparable, but then you look at Wick, and I just think it's really out of Schwarzenegger's league. I mean, because on top of that though, Wick is literally, think about this. The amount of endurance that he has to have, and I know it's a movie, but I'm saying theoretically in the movie, space, the amount of endurance that Keanu Reeves would have to have, or his character John Wick would have to fight like that so continuously. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's never even done anything like that in a movie. You know what I mean? Except when he played a machine. When he played a machine.
Except when he's a machine. Unless there's like a lava factory, which they seem to find in like 2 movies in a row. Lava factory. Unless there's a lava factory around. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put John Wick as the winner, not Keanu Reeves. But.
I mean,
as a unit, if John Wick was a real guy, he'd be really hard to kill. And I don't know, he got more invincible with each movie, because like in the first one, there was a scene where they put a bag over his head and it was done. Like he's done. He's tied up. There was no torture scene in the second and third one. It was all like the first one. He was a little rusty. He's like getting back into action, and the only reason why he lived is because his sniper buddy like saved him.
Yeah, yeah.
So he became more and more. That's why I honestly believe the second one is the best, because the first one had the nonsense with his dog, which I'm just like, get to the killing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get to it. And then the third one had so much stuff about the high table and the coins and the cutting off your ring finger and like just I need passage and like him walking through the desert. That was like, I think they're kind of trying to like play up the story a little bit more, because I think they honestly went a little too far with the second one. I think that's the reviews they got, and they like pulled it back a little bit. You know,
I think the second one was literally for pure action fans. I think the second one, was a surprise, probably, and they're like, whoa. I mean, have you ever seen that? I love it when they do that in sequels, where they double down on it, but even more. They go, hey, look, we're gonna do what the first one did, but even better. You know what I mean?
I hope that's what they do with the fourth one. I hope that him and Lawrence Fishburne come back and they just murder everyone. They like kill, because the whole thing about the fourth one is that they're gonna take down the high table. They're gonna take it down.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what's crazy, dude? We went through this whole tournament with Keanu Reeves, who's done 2 other action movies that I really love. Speed, which I think is fantastic, and again, he wouldn't be maybe in this, like, he wouldn't be maybe in like the, he wouldn't be good in a fight necessarily, but he was good in Speed, and then he was also really good in Point Break, which I love. It's Johnny Utah.
Point Break was pretty good. Is that his name?
Yeah, Johnny Utah.
Oh my gosh. You would never. It's funny, like, the things that you would write into an action movie in the 80s that would just be impossible to pitch in a nowadays movie. Like in the movie Nick of Time with Johnny Depp, and the guy's name is Nick. It's like, you can't pitch that into a movie. Like, hey, Nick of Time.
Well, it's funnier. It's funnier because I think part of the reason why, like, you could pitch it today, but it would be more of like a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be like, so hard to be taken seriously.
When they name him Nick, they're naming him Nick as in like that's a good idea. Like, you get
like his name was like Oscar or something, and they're like, no, let's call him Nick. Like,
but yeah, that's the action hero tournament.
John Wick wins.
John Wick was the winner. Well, Keanu Reeves, but yeah, John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, wait. First place was John Wick, Keanu Reeves. Second place was Schwarzenegger, and then third place, I think you should put Rambo. Really, I mean, come on, like Rambo. It's so sad that you literally put Rambo and John Wick on the same side of the bracket. I mean, that's literally a championship before the championship.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, man. I still think Rambo. It's if John Wick wasn't so invincible, like if there's so much data in those movies to prove that like Keanu Reeves would win. You know what I mean? I think
Rambo realistically would have gotten second place if he had put in a different bracket. You know what I mean? I do think he would have beaten Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's fair. They should let that happen in like the World Cup. Like if you're the third place winner, they should let you face the guy that lost in the number 1 championship.
Well, unless you lost to them, right?
Yeah, no, but you wouldn't ideally.
No. What I'm saying is, like, unless you already lost to them. So like if second place was John Wick, why would he already lost to John Wick?
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't get a second chance. If you guys are watching this, this is being shot right before the Vikings are about to potentially win or lose the playoffs. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll see what happens with that, but I hope the Vikings can pull out a win against the Giants.
Who are they playing? The Giants?
Yeah, I guess the Giants, which we did beat the Giants earlier this year. The thing is, we beat them, but we just barely beat them. We beat them with a 61-yard field goal, like last second 61-yard field goal. So. Yeah. I mean, props to our kicker, who's missed a ton of field goals and a ton of extra points. The thing is, he's only missed points in games that we've won, or in games that we would have won anyway. Whereas like the ones that he's lost, it's like he missed a field goal and we lost like 40-3 or something. But it's like the coach, if we're down 40-3 against the Cowboys at the end of the game, he's not gonna like look at the kicker and be like, "What the hell? Like, what are you doing?" Like, you know what I mean?
Come on, get him on the bus to get a new kicker in here.
Pack your stuff.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, 40-3 wouldn't have made that much of a difference.
Like, why didn't you kick 7 field goals? Not even that. I wouldn't even make it.
I do feel like though that like you go, I don't know. Imagine Kirk Cousins going all the way down, right? Say it's like 3-10, 3-20 even. You don't think a field goal like helps? I mean, if you miss the field goal, you don't think like, another thing just went wrong.
No, the field goal makes a huge difference, and I've talked about it multiple times about how I believe the kicker is the second most valuable position on the field, because like if you can get a kicker who like in the most clutch moments, in the moments where like everything is riding against you mentally, you know what I mean? Super Bowl's on the line, like, or a path to the Super Bowl is on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you can deliver in like snow and ice and rain and like with like a big decent like rush, like a rush that's coming on you from all the other players, and you can still deliver it. Like Adam Vinatieri, who he kicked a 48-yard field goal. It was like in Oakland when it was like no, it wasn't even in, it was in New England.
You talking about the snow game, the tuck rule,
Dude,
the tuck game?
the tuck game where the snowflakes were like that big. It was like my dad was saying it's like a half court shot. It was literally like you couldn't see. Like if you had the field goal, like they did the shot where they showed like behind like where the kickers from the kicker's perspective, you
I
couldn't see
did.
anything.
Really, dude? Let me see. What's
It was
it?
insane.
Tuck game?
Tuck game, yeah.
Tuck game, Adam Vinatieri,
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. We
perspective.
probably shouldn't watch that during the podcast,
Well,
but
I'm not gonna watch it. I just want to see the image.
yeah, dude.
Dude, oh my gosh, do you think they probably cleared off the snow?
They cleared off just that little area that he was kicking. That's pretty much it. But even then, it's still actively snowing. So the seconds after they cleared it, it's still gonna continually get covered in snow, you know.
Dang,
But
yeah. Can you imagine being like, how much of a baller are you in that moment? You know what I mean? Like literally, dude, you just kick. First off, if he'd missed it, I don't think anybody would have blamed him. You know what I mean? They'd be like, ah, man, you know what I mean? The weather. You know what I mean? Like it's awful weather, bro. But to hit that, I mean, it's like you said, it's like a half court shot, dude.
it's pretty crazy. And you know, good on him for hitting it. And he won the Super Bowl. He's like one of the reasons a lot of people blame the Super Bowl win on him because they
Absolutely, dude.
you know. But we should talk about our hidden gems.
Oh yeah,
Hidden gems. Let me go through. I have my list right here of every movie I've ever seen. Let me.
Yeah, laminated stuff. You got a little hardcover.
Yeah, dude, I got a little ring binder. Look, I got the.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, let's see here. I did just see the Purge election year, which was a good one. Okay, all right, I got one. This one's on Netflix, so it's not terribly hidden. It is a movie that maybe not a lot of people have heard of. It came out 2 years ago, 2021. It's called Till Death with Megan Fox. You ever see that movie?
No, I haven't.
No, it's a good survival / horror movie about some guy trying to kill her, and it's a really good, really thrilling, and it takes place like way out in the cold, and it's awesome. Yeah, so it does stuff that like I haven't seen in a movie before, which is kind of cool. You know, like when you see like in action movies, there's a lot of action movie plots that are kind of played over and over again. Like someone kills his wife, like or someone kills his daughter or something.
This is
Or like someone frames him for murder, or someone kills his dog or something. But it's like, and like you don't really care because it's an action movie. Like you know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. But it's cool in like a survival movie where it's not just a plane crash. It's not just your car won't start. It's like something different. Like it's they created a different scenario, which is kind of nice to see. So I give it a star.
Oh, that's really cool. So my pick actually, because I was just looking around my room. My pick is this movie with Keanu Reeves. It's called The Lake House.
Oh, I've seen The Lake House.
Yeah?
I love it with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
They actually do time travel in that movie pretty good, like without messing with it.
Well, and I think that's what's really cool is that like I really love a good time travel movie. First off, because I think one of the things that I really respect about time travel movies is like consistency. At least I think one of the big problems is whenever you watch a time travel movie, so often you're like, how did that?
The idea of like changing something that happened in the past doesn't make any sense because if you could go back in time and change it, that means it already would have been changed before you could change it.
And that's why The Lake House works so well. You know what I mean?
You'll realize what the thing is once you watch it. It doesn't deal with like, oh, I got to go back and like kill Hitler or something. Like it's like it's not like that.
And then even if it was, I'm saying like I think some movies just have this like thing where they're like, oh yeah, and then they come back after they killed Hitler, and then like the world's like basically the same, but Hitler was killed, and you're like, but it's not the same, right? Like it would be significant. You know what I mean? These are like significant events.
Well, it's like it's nice, and it's nice when you add a small element of fantasy to
Yeah,
the movie. Like the Lake House was mostly a very realistic, very honest, like romantic, like dramatic
yeah,
movie that dealt with a lot of like real life things, but it had a little element of fantasy enough to where you're not focused on it. You're not like
yeah.
you're
Well,
focused on the characters still. You know.
I think it's enough. Yeah, I think it's enough too to where, like I said, I really just enjoyed it, and I thought it enhanced the movie really, and I thought the ending was awesome, and I really love there's this moment where she's sitting at the bar, and she's like this guy that she has, right? This guy that she currently has in her life, right? She's like, he's in my life, and I don't even really like him, but this guy that I can't even have in my life, I give him my whole heart. And I don't know. I really love that line. That line always touched me a lot. I've watched it like 2 times now.
A lot of good writing in that movie. It's nice when you can see a movie with good writing. It's like you don't. I never appreciate it until it's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, that's exactly right. I mean, that's how good writing works, or good filmmaking, or anything. You're like I remember whenever people talk about like really popular movies being really good, like Jurassic Park or stuff, you never realize how good Jurassic Park is until you see other Jurassic Parks. And you're like, oh man.
other like let's run from this monster type of movies.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh gosh, really? That's what you're gonna say?
Yeah, and it's just like, man, Jurassic Park's really good. Like really such a good movie. But yeah. So that's my hidden gem pick. Do you have any final thoughts?
My final thought is we should name this episode "We Love You, Keanu Reeves" because we ended up talking about him way more than we thought we were going to.
Using my hidden gem pick. I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, who doesn't love? Oh, actually, maybe we should call it just "We Love You, John Wick."
We love John Wick.
No, but we had a fun time, and I love action movies. That's all.
Yeah. My final thoughts are like and subscribe. Comment. That's what I would say, because we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Right now, at the time of this video being made, we have 11. We have 11 subscribers.
11, yeah. So
they're chilling out on a frozen lake on a piece of ice and the sun is out. It is melting fast.
Oh, I know. Also, my last final thought, I guess, would be that I would defend King Kong. If King Kong came to New York, I would defend him, and there were not slaughtered.
No matter how many children he stepped on.
Not children's being. They're not at any point in the movie. But yeah,
an ankle-deep river of blood around where Keanu Reeves is. You'd still be like, no, like let's save him from. No, but yeah, that'd be great. And if you would share this video with friends, that would really help us out. But I don't want it to seem like we're not satisfied with what we have, because we are very happy with the small audience that we have currently. Obviously, we want to reach more people, but if you tuned in to listen, we really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
No, not if you want to. But
no, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't know. All right. See you later.
See you guys.